Today, we're going to dive into what it really means to get ready for Ramadan. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with what's happening on the outside. We're going on a journey deep inside, using the amazing work of Dr. Ahmed Khairy Al-Omari as our guide to figure out how to shatter the locks we've all put on our own hearts.
So let's just start with the question that might really make you pause. Do you truly know your heart? I mean, it sounds like a simple question, right? But Dr. Al-Omari makes a compelling case that for most of us, the real answer is probably no. And that leads us straight to this first big idea, thinking of your heart as an unknown continent. It's a pretty wild concept, that the very center of who you are, the thing that's with you every single second of every day, is actually a huge unexplored territory.
Now let's be really clear here. We're not talking about the physical organ that pumps your blood. No, the author wants us to see it as a world in and of itself, a whole world filled with caves we've sealed shut, lands we've never explored, and secret spots we've been too afraid to even look for.
And what's so incredible is just how vast this inner world is. It's not just one thing. Inside every single one of us, there are entire galaxies no one has ever set foot on, untouched deserts and sunken continents. But it's also the place where we keep all the heavy stuff. The piles of worries, our deepest fears, and all those clouded, messy memories from the past. It's a land of both wonder and shadow.
So, if this amazing world exists inside all of us, why don't we know about it? Why aren't we exploring it all the time? Well, that brings us to the main obstacle, the real problem here, the rusty latch on the door.
And this quote just illustrates the problem so perfectly. The imagery is just wow. On this lock, there is a bar and a latch. A spider has woven its web upon it, and a dove has built its nest, for no one has approached it for a long time. I mean, that says everything, doesn't it? This door isn't just locked, it's been abandoned. It's been so long that nature has literally started to reclaim it.
And this is where it all circles back to Ramadan. The whole argument here is that genuine preparation has nothing to do with stocking the pantry or planning get-togethers. The real preparation, the true work, is that one single courageous moment when you decide to reach out and actually touch that giant rusty latch on the door to your own heart.
But let's be honest, reaching for that latch is hard. It's uncomfortable, it's maybe even a little scary. And that is precisely why so many of us fall into what the author calls the trap of empty rituals. This slide just lays out the two paths so clearly. On one side, you have the external Ramadan. It's all about what goes into our pockets, what fills our mouths, what we see on our screens. But on the other side, you have an internal Ramadan. That's the one that enters the heart, that shatters those locks, and that truly, deeply transforms the soul. It's a choice between just going through the motions and starting a revolution.
And the consequence of choosing that external path is huge. Because for so many, Ramadan just becomes another month to check off the calendar. The rituals happen, but they don't ignite that internal revolution. The spider and the dove on that rusty latch, they're completely undisturbed.
Okay, but this isn't meant to be discouraging. It's a call to action. It's all about getting ready for what's called the moment of breaking the lock.
Seriously, just take a second and try to imagine that sound, that horrifying, grinding, metal-on-metal creak of a mechanism that hasn't moved for decades, maybe a whole lifetime. That sound, that's the sound of real change beginning. It is not going to be quiet, and it's definitely not going to be easy.
And here it is, the author's direct command to us. It's a moment that requires total focus. Gather your strength, collect your nerves, and lift it. Reach for the lock and open it. It feels like a very physical instruction, doesn't it, for a profoundly spiritual act.
And after all of that effort, after that terrifying sound, the result is actually so beautifully simple. Let Ramadan enter. That's it. Not into your home, not into your schedule, but into your heart. That's the entire goal.
Okay, so you did it. You opened the lock, you've let the light flood in. But how do you know if it was real? How do you know if it's stuck? Well, that brings us to the final and maybe the most important part, the real test. What happens after Ramadan?
This is the question that defines everything. When the month is finally over, are you going to be a new person? Or are you going to be the exact same person you were 30 days earlier, just maybe a little more tired? The author is absolutely clear about the proof. If, as soon as that Eid moon is sighted, we slide right back into all our old habits, all our old ways, then the locks were never truly broken.
Maybe we jiggled them a little, but we didn't shatter them. The transformation didn't hold.
So the whole point, the biggest takeaway from this entire exploration is this. Try to forget the superficial distractions. This year, focus all of your energy, all of your intention on one single thing, opening your heart.
And that leaves us with one final haunting question. It's not about if you can do this, it's about if you're truly prepared for what it's going to feel like when you do. So, let me ask you, are you ready to hear the creak?
Okay, so to start us off today, I have a question for you. And I want you to be really, really honest with yourself.
Oh, boy. Okay, I'm ready.
It's a question about geography, but not the map of the world, not your neighborhood.
The internal terrain.
Exactly, the internal terrain. If I asked you to draw a map of you, the landscape of the person living inside your chest, what would that even look like?
That is a heavy way to start.
Right. Do you know where the mountains are? The dangerous drop-offs? Or are you living with a total stranger?
It's that feeling, isn't it? Like walking into a room in your own house that you haven't unlocked in 20 years. You know it's yours, but you have no clue what's in there.
And that feeling, that unsettled feeling of, I don't actually know what's going on in there, that's exactly where we need to be for today's deep dive. We're returning to Dr. Ahmed Khairy Al-Omari, and we are dissecting a breakdown of part 2 of his book, Those Who Have Not Been Born Yet.
And Al-Omari, well, he doesn't do fluff. He's not here to make you comfortable.
Not at all. He writes like a surgeon.
He does. And this deep dive is all about a section called the internal latches.
The internal latches. It sounds like a horror movie title.
Honestly, it's not far off. The whole premise is that we spend our lives obsessed with, behavior, fixing the outside.
Sneaky habits, changing our diet, setting new alarms.
Exactly. But Al-Omari argues that while we're busy painting the exterior walls, we're ignoring an entire continent inside us, a forgotten continent.
He says we're getting ready for spiritual seasons like Ramadan, but we're doing it all wrong. We're focusing on the wrong doors.
We are, and the mission today is to move past what he calls the folklore of spirituality, which we will definitely get to that. It's a brilliant idea, and actually look at the caves within the heart.
It's a journey into that forgotten continent.
Right inside your rib cage.
A forgotten continent.
I love that.
So let's start with the geography, because in this text, the heart isn't just a pump.
No, he challenges that biological idea right away. He describes it as this vast, unknown world.
He uses words like grottos, closed caves, secret spots.
And the visuals are, they're pretty wild.
The source mentions planets and galaxies where no human foot has stepped.
And deserts and virgin forests.
It feels like an alien world, not a human organ.
But think about that language. He also says unknown continents submerged under the seafloor. The point isn't just to be poetic.
It's to emphasize distance.
Exactly. Even though it's physically in us, we treat it like terra incognita, unknown land. We function every single day without ever exploring these spots.
So we're basically operating on autopilot. We're pilots of a plane we've never actually inspected.
Right. And here's the thing that really struck me. This internal continent, it's not just empty space. It's not a pristine forest waiting for a hiker.
Oh no, it's cluttered.
It's a mess.
The text lists piles of worries, complexes, fears.
And memories of a cloudy past.
Right.
Think of it like a storage unit you haven't opened in 30 years. Or a hoarding situation. You have decades of unresolved stuff, things you're ashamed of from last week.
And it doesn't just vanish.
No. According to Al-Omari, it piles up. It becomes sediment in these caves and grottos.
It really hits home. We just walk around with these clouds and complexes taking up space.
Yeah.
And we just work around them.
We ignore them. We live on the surface because the basement is full of monsters. But he's saying you cannot actually be born. You can't become a fully realized person if you don't go into those caves.
Okay, so we have the map. Scary, cluttered, vast continent inside. How do we get in? Because there's a specific obstacle, right? There's a door.
And that door has a problem.
The rusty latch.
The rusty latch.
That image stuck with me more than anything. He describes this lock on the door to the heart. But it's not just locked. It's abandoned.
And the condition of the lock? The details are everything here. It has a barricade and a latch, but it's been neglected for so long.
That a spider has woven its web over.
And a dove has built a nest there.
Yeah.
Now let's pause on that. A dove's nest. A dove is usually a symbol of peace, right? Hope. It sounds nice.
Oh, look a dove on my heart.
But in this context, it's a huge trap, isn't it?
It is. It's a sign of stagnation.
Exactly. A bird will only build a nest in a place that is perfectly still, undisturbed. It means no one has even approached that door in a very, very long time.
That is actually haunting. It reframes peace as just neglect.
It's the peace of a graveyard.
Yeah.
So we have this door, cobwebs, bird nests, and then the text contrasts this with how we usually prepare for a big spiritual shift.
This is where it gets kind of funny. The source mentions buying kitchen supplies, stocking up on food.
The Costco run approach to spirituality.
Totally. We need enough lentils to survive the winter.
But Al-Omari demands something completely different. The real preparation isn't in the kitchen. It's standing in front of that rusty latch.
And he says you have to gather all your strength. It's not an easy push.
No. And then there's the sound it makes. This is what I find so interesting. The text says it will make a terrifying creaking sound.
A terrifying creak. Why terrifying? I mean, a squeaky door is just annoying.
Because that sound represents disruption. Silence is comfortable. The spiderweb is comfortable. That creak, that's the sound of the status quo breaking.
What's the sound of you admitting something has to change?
It's the ego's alarm system. Your ego wants that door shut. It wants you to focus on the food, the decorations, safe things.
Because opening the door is dangerous.
It is. That creak alerts every defense mechanism you have that, uh-oh, control is slipping.
So because we're afraid of the creak, most of us just leave it. We leave the spider alone.
And instead we fall into what the author calls the trap of religious folklore.
This is such a scathing critique. The idea that these profound seasons of transformation just become social habits.
Folklore. I mean, what a word choice.
It implies it's just something we do because, well, that's what the tribe does. It's tradition, not transformation.
Precisely. It's performance. And he breaks down the distractions into 3 very specific things. He says the season enters everything except the heart.
Okay, let's list them, because I think everyone listening will recognize these immediately. The first one.
The pocket.
The pocket.
It enters the pocket and empties it. Spending, buying the best ingredients, new clothes, it becomes an economic event.
We see that everywhere. Every holiday is a sale.
Exactly. But here it's so insidious because you think you're doing something spiritual, but you're just stimulating the economy.
Okay, distraction number 2.
The mouth.
It enters the mouth and fills it. Feasting.
The great paradox of fasting, right? We starve all day to gorge all night. The whole conversation becomes about food.
So the focus is still physical.
Oh.
Consumption.
Right. The energy is all centered on the stomach, not the soul.
And the third distraction.
The eyes.
This one felt very modern.
It is. It enters via the eyes, through TV series, entertainment, the Ramadan marathons of shows.
So the pocket, the mouth, and the eyes.
All external. And the result, he says, is that the month remains external. It becomes a lunar event.
Meaning it's just the moon moving across the sky.
Yeah. It's a calendar page turning. It passes over you like a weather system, but it doesn't pass through you.
He calls for an internal coup, a revolution. But instead, we get a dinner party and a TV show.
And meanwhile, back at the door of the heart,
The spider is still there.
the spider is happy, the dove is sleeping soundly, the latch hasn't moved an inch.
It's so tragic when you put it like that. You can go through an entire month of intense ritual and come out, well, just a hungrier version of the same person.
And that leads to his litmus test. Because you might think, well, I feel good, I feel spiritual. How do I know if I'm falling for the folklore?
There's a way to know.
A very specific way. The morning after, the test comes at the end of the season.
Right. And the source uses this incredible imagery about the devil.
The idea that during the holy month, devils are chained up. So the question Al-Omari poses is, when the devil is released from prison, who does he find?
Does he find a new person?
Or does he find the exact same person he left 30 days ago?
Oh, wow.
It's chilling. Imagine the devil coming back and saying, oh, good, you kept everything exactly how I left it.
You kept my seat warm.
The complexes are still there. The bad habits are ready to go. The resentments are still in that pile. It's like I never left.
That is the definition of failure in this text. If you return to your old habits the moment the month ends,
Then it's empirical proof that the locks were never broken.
you just rearrange the furniture in the living room.
Untouched. The deep internal grottos were untouched.
And this connects right back to the book's title, doesn't it? Those who have not been born yet.
It does. The argument is, if that internal change didn't happen, well, you haven't been born yet. You are still in the womb of your old habits.
Being born requires that terrifying creak. It It requires leaving the safety of the womb, or in this case, the closed heart.
Exactly. Birth is messy, it's loud. And breaking that rusty latch is the same process. It's a rupture. It's not supposed to be polite.
I think that's where a lot of us get stuck. We want transformation to be gentle. We want self-care, spirituality.
But he's talking about self-demolition. He's saying if you aren't willing to disturb the dove and tear down the spider web, you aren't willing to change.
So where does that leave us? A forgotten continent, a rusty door, and a choice.
Well, the source ends with a plea, a real call to action. He's basically telling the reader to just stop. Stop with the traditional opening of doors, the pantry, the wallet.
He says to focus only on the exceptional opening.
The exceptional opening of the heart. Gather your strength. I think that phrase is key. He knows it's hard. He's just saying it's necessary.
It's about ignoring the noise of the folklore and listening for that creak.
Because if you don't hear that creak, nothing has changed. You're just older, you're not new.
It really makes you rethink the whole concept of celebration. We celebrate the arrival of the holiday.
But maybe the only real celebration is if you finally manage to break into your own house.
Well put. The celebration is that the stranger in your chest is finally being introduced to you.
I keep thinking about that spider. It's such a small detail, but it represents the comfort of neglect. It's easier to let things rot quietly than to fix them loudly.
And he's asking us to choose the loud, difficult fix. To choose the difficult terrain over the comfortable folklore. It moves the goalposts from being good to being brave.
That's it. Spiritual bravery. The courage to face the debris in the cave.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you with that image. The rusty latch.
It's there, right now, in your chest.
Think about that door.
Yeah.
Think about the spider web. And here's the thought we want you to carry with you. If you put your hand on the latch of your own heart right now, in this moment, and you pushed, would you be brave enough to handle the terrifying creak it makes?
Or would you be tempted to, slowly pull your hand back?
And let the spider keep its web.
Just to keep the silence.
The choice is yours. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.